I remember during my childhood years in Puttaparthi, when Prashanthi Nilayam was built, my parents, of course, all used to go to the Patha Mandiram, the old mandir which you have all read or seen. But after I was born, the new Prashanthi Nilayam was built. Of course, now even that is new. But the old Prashanthi Nilayam, which you will see in the old photographs, the square building, there used to be 8 rooms where now the huge South Prashanthi complex is. I'm sure you've all seen that. One of the rooms my grand uncle Sheshgiri Rao used to live. He was Swami's personal attendant. He was actually not a priest by profession. He was an engineer. But he saw Swami and lived in Puttaparthi. And since he came from a community which knew how to do pujas, Swami asked him to look after the mandir. So actually he looked after Swami. He would iron Swami's robe. He would get his water ready for his bath. He would walk wherever Swami went and desperately carry Swami's slippers behind him, begging Swami to wear it, because the sands of Puttaparthi was so hot and Swami would refuse to wear slippers when the constructions were going on. So the Puttaparthi that I knew as a child is very different from the Puttaparthi that many of you have seen now. It was a Stone Age village. There was nothing available. And I won't go into the description of Puttaparthi's travel because we already talked about it at Dharma Kshetra, and if you were not there, I'm sure you'll be able to listen to it at some point. So the Prashanthi Nilayam that I went to with a small 8 rooms, Swami would be there all the time in our room, and it was a small little room. Hardly, maybe if you put 4 or 5 tables like this, it's a room. And in that room we used to have a stove. And we were all 8 families. We used to go from Bangalore. And we would be about 25-30 of us. The room was only used to keep our suitcase. We used to lie on the sand, sleep on the sand outside, where many of you have been to Prashanthi Nilayam. The eucalyptus trees are, where the ladies enter into the mandir. So we used to sleep on the sand and only go into the room to bring our clothes out, because we had to go down to Chitravati Road to take our bath in the palm-roofed little bathrooms, So that's where we are. And Swami, first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock, after his bath, 9 o'clock, he will be sitting in our room. And in that room, my aunt and my grand uncle who lived there, my grandfather, Sheshgiri Rao, we used to have a trunk which we have carried from Bangalore to Parthi. And on that trunk we used to put a pillow. And on that pillow we used to put a silk cloth. And that trunk was always ready. That was Swami's asana, not the beautiful chairs that you had. And he would forever come and sit there. And my aunt would continuously beg, have you finished your bath, Swami? Why don't you go and get ready? Because we wanted him to leave the room so that we could get ready. But the Lord would say, no, I finished at 6 o'clock. So if he finished at 6 o'clock, it means tomorrow morning we have to go at 4 o'clock and get ready. Because he'll come here at 6 o'clock. Then they would say, Swami, breakfast is ready, go. I'm not hungry yet. I'm going to sit here. So then our breakfast is delayed because they cannot cook in the kerosene stove in front of Swami there. So that Swami was with us. And then we would all go into the mandir and have the bhajans, where many times as a child, Swami himself was one of the lead singers. And we would all be looking at Swami's picture, and Swami will also look at his own picture and sing. And sometimes, we children would be fidgety. So he would say, children, keep watching the picture. Because, children are children. We are looking here and there who is singing. Even now, when we sit for bhajan, we are worried who Shruti will go wrong, who will put the wrong talam, who will bang on the kanjira. Mind wanders. Swami says the mind is a monkey mind. Once he told me, mind, not only monkey mind, drunken monkey mind. Not only drunken monkey mind, bitten by a scorpion, he said. So you can imagine our mind, even 1 second it cannot sit still. So we children were worse off with this monkey mind. So he would tell us, because he wanted to teach us the idea of concentration. When you sit down to do something, you have to concentrate, otherwise you cannot succeed. I'm sure the men and women here know, whether it is your profession or whether it is your cooking, you have to concentrate. If you are talking on the phone about some program and cooking, you will have put salt twice. That day there will be more salt or less salt, more tamarind or less tamarind, something will go wrong. So concentration is required first. Meditation only comes later. First you require concentration. So Swami said, look at the picture today. So we all knew something is going to happen with that picture. We don't know when, we don't know which bhajan, and we don't know when during the 1 hour bhajan. So our concentration is on the picture. Which picture? We don't know. So there are two pictures, Shirdi Baba and Sathya Sai Baba. We are looking at both. And the ladies are singing, the elders are singing. And suddenly, somebody will sing one Shiva bhajan. So the beautiful garland around the picture would unhook and become like a snake on top of the picture. It will unhook, become a snake. Sometimes somebody will sing a Krishna bhajan and the garland will come across the mouth of Swami like a flute. So this was the kind of things that he would show so that we would learn how to concentrate. So you are focused on what you are doing. So this was the Swami. My Swami was a mother to me, father to me. Like I said, I was very fortunate to be born into this family which knew Swami at a very early age. Whatever the past good deeds of the elders, at a time when there was nobody to recognize Swami, they recognized Swami somehow. It was his will. Because who will believe an 18-year-old boy if he says, I am God? They'll take him to the mental asylum.